I am 21, have a friend I've known for about 4 years, F22. Recently, she just got out of a year-long abusive relationship and hasn't been taking it the best. Last Friday, after we took her dog for a walk and got something to eat for dinner, she asked me to stay the night at her apartment to keep her safe and secure since she was feeling upset. I could tell she was having a hard time with the breakup, and it wouldn't be the first time I stayed over to comfort her. So I was okay with it. Usually she talks or moves a bit in her sleep when she has nightmares, but last weekend she had a full on night terror. She sat straight up and started full on screaming, "He's gonna hurt me," over and over again. I tried to calm her down, but her roommate heard her screaming and called the police. When they got there, she still wasn't coherent, and all she could say was, "He's going to hurt me, stay away," or something to that extent. I didn't even have a chance to explain what was happening. They detained me and had me spend the night in jail. It wasn't until the afternoon after when they released me. I had a talk with her after she said she was having flashbacks to when her and her ex would get into fights and couldn't help it after repeatedly apologizing. Fast forward to yesterday, I haven't really talked to her much this week at all. She asked me if I'd like to go to the bar with her this weekend with a couple of her girlfriends and spend the night again. I told her I wasn't comfortable at all after last weekend, then asked if one of them could spend the night with her, especially if there's alcohol involved too. She said I was the only person she trusted and was comfortable enough to sleep in the same bed with for security. I told her again that I wasn't comfortable with the idea. She hasn't texted me since. I've tried my best to be there to help, even getting her into therapy for other reasons, but I'm not okay with putting my safety at risk. My F27 boyfriend, M30, are currently on vacation with his family. I have volunteered to cook most nights because I love to cook and am the best at it out of the entire group. This evening, I was making a dish for everyone and asked my boyfriend to please get me an array of seasonings for this specific dish: MSG, soy sauce, pepper, and salt. He then said, "If you're using MSG, do you really need salt?" To which I explained that MSG is not salty, has 1/3 of sodium content to regular salt, and that dishes, if they are using MSG, will still typically require salt. I was cooking outside on a griddle, and the dish comes together quickly, so I was not able to go back to grab any additional seasonings. I realized shortly afterward that he did not include salt, just 3 of the 4 things I requested. When asked, he said we didn't need it. I tried the food, it was bland, so he then proceeded to put on additional soy sauce, which it did not need. It needed fucking salt. Either way, I was defeated and needed to take it off, so I served it as is, without salt. Everyone, upon being served, said it needed salt and proceeded to salt their own dishes. My boyfriend stood by his decision and doubled down on his argument that you can't remove salt, but you can add it, and that he preferred how it tasted as is. I was fuming because he has done this in the past and says I occasionally overseason/oversalt food. However, it does not happen regularly enough to be an issue. Occasionally accidental. I do 90% of the cooking at home, and he loves my food. We argued about it, and he stood his ground that he prefers his food less salty, and that if I salted it, that he would have been SOL and not been able to eat any of it. However, the amount of salt it required was not enough to be overly salted, and that I know for a fact the amount of salt I would have used, he would have happily eaten it. I told him his behavior felt controlling, and he hit me with, I could have grabbed more salt myself, but again, this dish, if I stepped away, would have burned quickly. ATA for being angry and calling my boyfriend controlling, for not just getting me the salt when I asked for it initially. I, 19F, have a little brother, 10M, with mild autism. He's old enough to be able to take some responsibility for himself and not have to be constantly hovered over. I have made it clear to my parents that I'm not interested in constantly watching him and have asked them to find a friend or someone to help out every so often so I can live my own life. They brushed me off, unfortunately. Something I should also mention is that I smoke pot. It's legal in my state, and my parents don't seem to be too against it. I am an adult, after all. I keep some hidden in my nightstand and some hidden in my purse. My brother doesn't usually snoop around my room, so I'm not that inclined to go to ridiculous lengths to keep it hidden. I don't want to go to insane lengths looking for it when I want to get high. Well, unfortunately, my brother decided to go snooping through my purse while I was in the shower and found one of my edibles. I was still in the shower by the time my parents got home and saw that he was obviously high and crying. My dad went into my bathroom, practically ripped off the shower curtain, and demanded an explanation as to why my brother was obviously baked. I told him that I was in the shower and unaware of how he even got into my stash. He started crying, saying he just went into my purse to get my phone because he wanted to say hi to our mom. He's not allowed to have a phone or tablet, and that he saw chocolates and couldn't help himself. These chocolates were kept in a bag saying, "Do not eat," by the way, but the wrappers did kind of look like candy. Thankfully, my brother was rightfully punished for snooping through my shit. However, this did not stop my parents from being angry at me, too. They were livid that I had edibles in my purse and that I wasn't watching him well enough. He's 10, almost 11, and does not need to be hovered over. He understands "do not touch" means don't touch my shit. He should not have to be told to not eat chocolates he finds in someone else's purse. This didn't satisfy my parents. Enough, unfortunately, and I was told to leave. I am currently staying at my dealer's house, where I usually get some other shit that I take outside of my parents' house. I'm not stupid enough to carry non-legal drugs on me or keep them in my house. I'm hoping my parents will let me come back soon, either to stay or so I can get my things and move out. One of my 39M hobbies is entering raffles, sweepstakes, radio contests, etc. I've won tickets to concerts, sporting events, and some household items, gift cards, but never a grand prize like a car or vacation. Until last month when I won a free trip for 4 people to Florida for 5 nights. Obviously, I was super excited and told my wife, 38F, about it right away. After our initial excitement wore off and we started talking about details, it became apparent we had conflicting ideas about this trip. Before I could even make suggestions about what I want this trip to be, my wife brought up how excited her 11-year-old daughter would be, and how we could go to Disney, SeaWorld, etc. She then said that we can bring her mom with to help watch her daughter, so that we could have some time for ourselves. She was so excited about it and was getting wrapped up in planning things without even hearing what I wanted. I told her that all of that sounds like fun, but I was thinking that we could invite another couple and have it be an adult-only trip instead of bringing my stepdaughter and Emmy Male with. She did not like my idea one bit and told me that she wouldn't feel right taking a free trip like that and leaving her daughter behind. She also said that her mom has never been to Florida, and this would be a perfect opportunity for her to go there. We argued back and forth a little bit before deciding to take a break and come back to it before telling anyone about it. Well, that lasted about 24 hours before my wife let it slip to her daughter that I had won a trip. So, of course, stepdaughter immediately got excited about it and started looking into all the things she wants to do. I asked my wife why she told her daughter, and she said it was an accident, which, come on. It started a fight between us, and emotions got a little high. I told her she was wrong to bring her daughter into this after we agreed to wait, and that I never agreed to take stepdaughter or MIL on this trip. I told her that I was the one who won the trip, and she was acting like this was something specifically for her. She told me I was being selfish and that we should include those closest to us in something like this, especially when neither stepdaughter or MIL have ever been to Florida. She said that bringing another couple and leaving her daughter home would be cruel, especially now that she's so excited about it. I told her that her daughter is only excited about it because she decided to blab to her about it instead of waiting like we had agreed. I told her if she wants to bring her daughter and MIL, then she can also pick someone else to go with because I would rather stay home by myself than go on a vacation that where I don't get to be involved in any decisions. I said that if she wants to go that route, she certainly can, but I'm not paying for any of it. Yeah, we have separate finances. Now she thinks I'm being a jerk and should be happy about having a free family trip.